The sky holds secrets that few dare to read. When the moon bleeds red and the earth begins to tremble, people see disaster. Yet the ancients knew these were not only signs of the world outside, but also mirrors of the world within. A blood moon has long been called the mark of transformation, times when old structures collapse and hidden forces rise to the surface. Earthquakes, too, do not just shatter stone. They echo the tremors of the human heart, the cracks that appear when fear or anger rule our steps. In this video, you will walk with me through the deeper meaning of these celestial and earthly movements. You will learn how the blood moon has been revered as a symbol of fire burning away impurity, and why great masters taught that the ground must sometimes shake for balance to return. You will see how the outer universe reflects our inner state, and how awareness can turn moments of chaos into powerful opportunities for renewal. Stay with me until the end, for the lesson is not only about the moon and the earth, it is about you, your strength, your discipline, and your ability to remain unshaken when the world stirs with noise and fear. Those who can master stillness in such times discover a power that does not crumble, even as mountains fall. Welcome, my friends, to Shaolin Soulfire. This is a space where ancient wisdom meets the challenges of today. If you seek clarity, mastery, and truth in a world that often shakes without warning, then join us. Subscribe now, and let us continue this path together. There are moments when the heavens change their face, and in that change they whisper to those who are ready to listen. The blood moon is one such moment. Its red glow has stirred fear in some, awe in others. Yet for the masters of old, it was never just a spectacle of the night sky. It was a message. Across cultures, the red moon was seen as a turning point. Farmers read it as a sign of coming harvest or famine. Kings and warriors took it as an omen before great battles. But within the Shaolin tradition, its meaning goes deeper, reaching into the discipline of the self. Red is the color of fire, and fire is both destroyer and purifier. It consumes what no longer serves and leaves behind only what can endure. The blood moon, therefore, is not a warning of doom, but a call to discipline. It speaks to the impurities we carry, the habits that weaken our body, the impulses that scatter our mind, the attachments that chain our spirit. Just as fire burns away the unnecessary, the red moon invites us to face our shadows and let go. To walk this path is not easy. Letting go of what is familiar often feels like standing at the edge of a cliff. Yet the Shaolin way teaches that in surrendering old patterns, we uncover hidden reservoirs of strength. A disciplined mind becomes sharp as a blade. A disciplined heart becomes steady as the mountain. When the blood moon rises, it is a mirror held against our lives. It does not demand fear. It demands honesty. It asks whether we are willing to burn away the layers that hide our true nature so that new power may awaken from within. There are times when the ground beneath us feels uncertain, when life itself seems to tremble with forces beyond our control. Earthquakes remind us of the raw power of nature, yet they also reflect something closer to home, the hidden tremors within the human heart. Just as the earth cracks under pressure, so too do we fracture when anger, fear, or doubt overwhelm us. In moments of inner shaking, emotions surge like tectonic plates colliding. A harsh word can set off a landslide of resentment. A sudden loss can split the foundations of our confidence. Fear, like an unseen fault line, can destabilize even the strongest will. These are our inner earthquakes, unpredictable, disruptive, and powerful enough to reshape the landscape of our lives. But the ancients taught that mastery is not the absence of shaking. It is the art of standing firm when everything quakes around us. The Shaolin path trains both body and mind to root deeply, like a tree that does not fall though the earth beneath it shifts. Breath becomes the anchor, awareness the foundation, and discipline the structure that keeps one upright when chaos strikes. Consider the mountain. It has endured countless tremors, storms, and eruptions, yet it remains unmoved in essence. To walk in mastery is to carry that same spirit within. The mind learns not to collapse under pressure, but to adapt, to bend without breaking. The heart learns not to scatter in fear, but to remain centered and open. Life will always shake, What matters is not whether the cracks appear, but how we meet them. When discipline steadies the spirit, inner tremors lose their power to destroy. Instead, they become teachers, reminding us of the strength that lies in stillness. When storms rage, most eyes are fixed on the wind, the lightning, and the crashing of branches. Yet the true lesson lies in what remains. In the Shaolin tradition, it is said that the tree that bends survives the storm. This is not merely a teaching about nature. It is a reflection of the way a disciplined spirit endures. Stillness is often mistaken for passivity, as if to be calm is to do nothing. But stillness is not weakness. It is strength rooted deep, unseen but unshakable. The bamboo bends with the wind, but its roots grip the soil firmly. It does not resist blindly, nor does it collapse. It yields without surrender, and in this balance lies its survival. Life delivers storms in many forms: conflict, loss, uncertainty, sudden change. In these moments, the untrained mind reacts with panic or resistance, scattering energy in all directions. Yet the disciplined mind returns to the breath, to the center, to the stillness that no chaos can disturb. From that stillness, clarity arises. The next step becomes visible, the path forward illuminated. Ancient masters observed that rivers carve mountains not by force, but by patience. The quiet persistence of water is a greater power than any violent surge. In the same way, inner stillness allows us to move through turmoil without being consumed by it. To cultivate this state is a practice. It is built through discipline of the body, through mindfulness of thought, through the patient training of the heart. When stillness becomes your foundation, the storms of life cannot uproot you. They may shake your branches, but your essence remains untouched, steady and clear. This is the quiet strength that endures when all else is in motion. In the silence after an earthquake, the land does not return to what it was before. Valleys may deepen, rivers may change course, and mountains may rise higher. Destruction and renewal arrive together, two faces of the same force. This truth, though difficult, carries a profound lesson for the path of self-mastery. Life, too, brings moments that shake us apart. A dream collapses, a relationship ends, or a familiar way of living crumbles beneath our feet. At first, all that can be seen is the ruin, the emptiness left behind. Yet with time it becomes clear that what was broken also cleared space for something new to emerge. The collapse is not only loss, it is preparation. Ancient wisdom teaches that endings are not mistakes of fate. They are part of a greater rhythm, like the turning of the seasons. Autumn strips the trees bare, not to punish them, but to prepare the ground for spring. In the same way, breakdowns in life are often the very soil from which breakthroughs grow. Without the fire that burns away the old, the new seed cannot take root. Discipline allows us to meet these cycles without resistance. The untrained mind clings to what is falling, trying to rebuild what cannot stand. The disciplined spirit, however, learns to trust the rhythm, to release what is gone, and to remain open to what is arriving. True wisdom lies in this acceptance, to see destruction not as the end, but as transformation, to recognize that renewal waits beneath every ending, like the green shoots hidden under winter snow. When we meet life in this way, every crack becomes an opening, every ending a doorway, and every loss a hidden beginning. When the ground shakes beneath our feet, the first impulse is panic. The heart races, the breath shortens, the mind scatters in every direction. This is the nature of fear. It pulls us away from the present and into chaos. Yet the masters of old discovered a simple, profound key, the breath. In the midst of tremors, whether of the earth or of the soul, the breath is an anchor. To inhale with awareness is to reclaim the mind from confusion. To exhale slowly is to release the grip of fear. With each cycle, body and mind begin to align, and what seemed unbearable becomes steady once more. Mindfulness is not about escaping pressure. It is about meeting it with clarity. Just as a candle flame steadies when shielded from the wind, the mind steadies when guarded by awareness. In the Shaolin way, discipline begins not with great feats of strength, but with the quiet mastery of breath. For if one can remain calm while storms rage within, then no outer storm can truly overcome them. Consider how water responds to being struck. Its surface may ripple, yet beneath, the depth remains calm and undisturbed. Mindfulness cultivates this depth within us. It teaches us to live not only at the surface of reaction, but in the deeper currents of presence. Through practice, even moments of pressure become teachers. Fear becomes a reminder to return to breathing. Doubt becomes a signal to center the mind. Anger becomes an invitation to pause before acting. In this way, mindfulness turns pressure into strength and fear into clarity. When the tremors of life arrive, the one who breathes with awareness does not collapse. Instead, they stand rooted, unshaken, and awake in the heart of the storm. The moon's pull is silent, yet its influence is vast. It draws the oceans into tides, shifting entire coastlines with a rhythm older than memory. All life feels this movement, for we too are made of water. Just as the seas rise and fall, so do our own energies ebb and flow. The ancient Shaolin masters observed these patterns carefully. They saw that the cycles of the moon mirrored cycles within the human body and spirit. When the moon swells to fullness, energy is heightened, passions flare, thoughts grow restless, and actions become impulsive if left unchecked. When the moon wanes, energy recedes, an invitation to reflect, restore, and turn inward. To ignore these rhythms is to fight against the natural current. To align with them is to move in harmony with life itself. Inner alignment begins with awareness. By noticing when your energy rises, you learn to channel it into discipline rather than distraction. When you feel the pull toward rest, you honor it, allowing strength to gather quietly beneath the surface. This balance prevents exhaustion and steadies the heart. The body, like the earth, requires cycles of activity and stillness, fire and water, expansion and retreat. Through training, meditation, and mindful living, one learns to recognize these shifts without being ruled by them. The mind becomes less like a storm-tossed wave and more like the deep ocean, vast and steady, even as the surface changes. Energy will always move, just as the tides never cease. But with alignment, those movements no longer overwhelm. Instead, they become allies, guiding us, strengthening us, and teaching us when to act with force and when to rest in stillness. In this harmony, we find not only balance, but freedom. When the moon turns red, it is easy for the mind to wander into shadows. Throughout history, people have seen such nights as omens of doom, signs that the heavens were angry or that disaster was near. Fear spreads quickly when the unknown appears in the sky. Yet what truly shakes us is not the event itself, but the illusions we attach to it. The untrained mind clings to superstition, building stories that feed fear. In this state, even the smallest sign becomes a threat. But the trained mind, disciplined through practice, learns to look deeper. It sees that the red moon is not a curse, but a reflection of cycles that have always been. It understands that fear is the true enemy, for fear clouds judgment and steals clarity. Guarding the mind is therefore one of the highest forms of mastery. The ancients taught that while walls may protect the body, only discipline can protect the spirit. If the mind is left unguarded, illusion enters easily, sowing confusion and weakness. But when the mind is watched with care, every thought is tested against truth and illusions lose their power. This guarding is not about resistance born of fear. It is about awareness born of strength. To be awake is to know when the mind is creating false images and to return gently to reality. Just as a warrior sharpens his blade each day, the wise sharpen awareness, refusing to let fear dull the edge of truth. When the moon glows red, let it be a reminder the world outside may shift, but the greatest danger lies within. Protect your thoughts with the same vigilance you would guard your life, for it is the mind that shapes whether you stand in fear or in freedom. The earth can tremble without warning. Mountains may shift, rivers may overflow, and what was once solid may crumble beneath our feet. These reminders are harsh, yet they carry an important truth. Nothing outside is permanent. All that we see, touch, and rely upon is subject to change. In the face of such uncertainty, discipline becomes the anchor. Discipline is not rigid control. It is the patient shaping of body, mind, and spirit into a form that cannot be easily broken. The Shaolin masters trained for decades to cultivate this inner strength, knowing that when the world shakes, it is the unshakable center within that sustains life. The body gains resilience through movement and posture. The mind gains focus through awareness and meditation. The spirit gains depth through quiet reflection and ethical action. When these layers of discipline are built, external chaos loses its power to destabilize. Anger no longer erupts like an uncontrolled tremor. Fear no longer spreads through the heart like wildfire. Decisions can be made with calm clarity, even when everything outside is in motion. Self-mastery transforms vulnerability into preparedness, uncertainty into opportunity. This is why discipline is the truest form of protection. While walls can fall and possessions can vanish, the strength cultivated within remains intact. It does not depend on circumstance or fortune. It is forged through patience, repeated practice, and unwavering commitment to growth. In unstable times, the disciplined individual becomes like a mountain in the storm. The winds may howl, the earth may quake, yet the core remains firm, grounded and aware. Strength through discipline is the shield that cannot be taken, the refuge that exists in every moment, and the foundation upon which lasting mastery is built. There are signs in the world that pass unnoticed by most, moments when the sky, the earth, and the rhythm of life speak in ways that only the attentive can hear. The blood moon, the tremor of the earth, the subtle shifts of energy, these are whispers meant for those who are ready. Not everyone recognizes them, for many are lost in distraction, fear, or habit. To hear these messages is to be awakened. It is to step onto a path that demands awareness, reflection, and responsibility. The chosen are not favored by chance, they are entrusted with the task of observing the harmony of life and carrying it forward. This calling is not about power over others, but mastery over oneself. Only by cultivating clarity of thought, steadiness of heart, and discipline of action can one honor the messages of the cosmos. Being chosen also carries the weight of responsibility. It asks for courage to confront inner chaos, patience to navigate uncertainty, and compassion to act with wisdom in the world. The harmony of the self becomes inseparable from the harmony of one's surroundings. A ripple in the spirit touches the earth, just as a tremor in the earth reflects the tremor within. The chosen understand that every thought, every choice, and every act contributes to the balance of life. Ancient masters taught that awareness alone is not enough. It must be paired with action. To ignore the call is to allow insight to fade into forgetfulness. To answer it is to align with forces greater than oneself, and in doing so awaken a strength that transcends fear, doubt, and uncertainty. Those who hear the signs are invited to walk a path of discipline and understanding. It is a quiet calling, subtle yet profound, urging the seeker to cultivate mastery within and bring harmony without, becoming a living reflection of the balance that governs the cosmos. Through the cycles of the moon, the tremors of the earth, and the shifting tides of life, one truth becomes clear. The outer world may shake, but the strength of the spirit is unshakable. Shaolin wisdom teaches that no storm, no fear, no sudden upheaval can disturb the stillness cultivated within. True power is not measured by control over circumstances, but by mastery over oneself. The greatest earthquakes are not those that crack the ground, but those that awaken the soul. Each moment of challenge is an opportunity to stand firm, to breathe deeply, and to align body, mind, and heart. By embracing discipline, mindfulness, and presence, we transform fear into clarity, chaos into insight, and endings into beginnings. Let this teaching guide your daily life. Notice the subtle signs, honor the rhythms of nature, and cultivate calm in the midst of any storm. In doing so, you step onto the unshakable path, a path where inner strength and wisdom guide every step. If you have found value in this journey of awareness and mastery, join our community. Like this video, subscribe to Shaolin Soulfire, and walk with us as we explore the timeless wisdom of the masters and the quiet power that lies within each of us. May your mind remain steady, your heart remain open, and your spirit remain unshaken.